Quaid Azam Part 155. At first, several of the Muslim delegates, in particular Jinnah, were, as they had been long before the conference, suspicious of the idea of a federation. Its dangers to them were neither remote nor unimportant. To associate a growing democracy with a number of princely states in which personal rule was established norm, and to which could also be added a continuing danger that since a majority of the ruling princes were Hindu, they could occur a serious domination of the political influence of the Muslim community in the federation as a whole. The Aga Khan, however, carried a conviction that whatever the temporary difficulties, this federal scheme still remained the most acceptable solution to India's political problems. It was an opportunity, he felt, that might never recur, and that if it required the compromises to make it effective, well, then that would relatively be small price to pay. The ruling princes too had given a kind of partial assent to some form of federal government, and they were rather happy on it. And federal government, the guarantees now sought were that the Muslim majorities in Punjab, Bengal should not by some legalistic proviso be reduced into minorities, further that Sindh be separated from Bombay, plus reforms in the NWFP, and finally assurance of the statutory reservations of a certain proportion of the places in the army and in the civil service for Muslims. This kind of a comprehensive platform, it was reasoned, would enable Muslim delegations to offer a united front to the British. The Aga Khan suggested a united command under a chosen Indian leader, which he would then get the Muslim community to accept. In his memoirs, Sir Chamanlal Settleward has mentioned that if the first round table conference did not achieve all that was expected, and if ultimately not only was dominion status not brought about, but India had to be partitioned, some, at least the beginning of those momentous happenings, are to be found in the Hindu delegations' refusal to accept the Aga Khan offer. Sapru and Sastri were not averse to accepting the Muslim proposals, but they were intimidated by the opposition of their colleagues, of course, of the Hindu Mahasabha. To quote the Aga Khan's sentiments, had my views been accepted later, history would have taken a profoundly different course, and there would have long since been in existence a federal government of India in which Muslims, Hindus would have been partners in the day-to-day administration of the country. I must say I was always suspicious that our work might not procure any rare or lasting results, because the great realities of India in 1930 were being forgotten. It was forgotten that there were first and foremost and all the time fundamental differences between Muslims and Hindus, and that these differences were most apparent between the Muslims of two northwestern and eastern sections of India and the Hindu majority in the rest. It was forgotten that the intelligentsia, although only 10% of the total Hindus' populations, numbered between 40 and 50 million, could not possibly be dismissed as a mere microscopic minority. It was forgotten that they desired British to quit India bag and baggage. Finally and forever, this was the aim for which they labored and strove, and indeed this was brought to pass 1947. It was forgotten that the princes, for all their wealth, ability, personal charm, prestige, and sincere loyalty to British connection, had in fact very little power or influence.